But let's get to the second game of tonight's ESPN doubleheader between the Bulls and the Warriors. Zach, you wrote in your 10 Things column how much Steph Curry has just impressed you with his start to the season. What specifically have you seen out of the two-time MVP?
I mean, everything. Look at the numbers. He's almost 35 years old, and he's playing as well and scoring as efficiently as he ever has in his career. And by the way, doing more of it because the Warriors have been so up and down. They need all of Steph Curry that he can give him. He's running more pick and rolls than he has since Steve Kerr took over as coach in any season. He's shooting 60% on floaters. 60%. That's like impossible. And he's taking more floaters than ever because they just have more offensive responsibility on him than ever. And the off-ball movement, it's just art. It's always been art. Defenses still don't know what to do with it all these years later. It's just been a really remarkable start to the season for Steph. They're plus $1 million when he's on the court and minus $1 million when he's off the court. Those are approximations. You get my point. He's the only reason they've managed to tread water early in the season.
Well, you and Kevin Pelton did a podcast recently, the Lowe Post, where you talked about your top 5 currently for MVP. And so Perk also weighed into that conversation. Didn't have Steph Curry in his top 5 for his list. So do you have any problem with that, Zach?
I don't want to fight with Perk on a Friday. Who did he have? I mean, Perk. I love Tyrese Haliburton, Perk. I love him. He's amazing. Come on now. Come on now, Perk. I know the Warriors are like a game behind the Pacers in the standings. You're going to put Tyrese Haliburton above Steph Curry in the MVP rankings because they're a game or two ahead of the Warriors in the standings. Have you seen Steph Curry's numbers? 31.5 points a game. He's shooting whatever I just said, a lot, very well. Come on now. I don't want to fight with you, Perk. It's Friday. Croatia's in the round of 16 in the World Cup. I don't have the energy to be negative with you today, Perk.
Yeah, that's cool, but you was being negative anyway. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, Zach, right? So we always take an account of winning, right? Winning and being where you're supposed to be, meaning not in the play-in tournament, but being somewhere in the playoffs. And look, this list was just my early MVP, list. It's gonna get updated in 2 months. It's gonna change. But as of right now, and when I put this list out, Haliburton was right there number 5 for me because the Pacers are winning. His impact, he leads the league in assists and things to that nature. And I get it. Steph is doing his thing. But I believe right now with the Warriors are sitting at the number 8 spot right now, I just couldn't put him in that list because the team didn't have that success. And if you want to take it down all the way back in the history of the NBA, we could go down a list of people from Tracy McGrady, who one year I remember averaged 32, I believe it was. Probably could have been the same guy who won the MVP, but his team wasn't really up there in the rankings. And then we could look at the late, great Kobe Bryant. When he did that one year, when we all thought he should have won the MVP, and I believe Steve Nash won it. So we could go back in time, and this is the question that I have. And I ask this every single time when it's time to vote for MVP. What is the criteria? Because we can't continue to move the goalposts when it's convenient for us for who we want to vote for.
Brian?
Well, I know Perk isn't going to have Luka up there after what he was saying earlier today. The thing about it is, as good as Steph has been this year, Perk is right in that if you had to vote today, you would never vote for a guy on a 500 team. I don't expect the Warriors to be a 500 team in the spring, and I think he'll have a great chance at it. But obviously, the Warriors got to play better as a team if they're going to win anything this year, much less individual awards.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.